the Air Force. I was real irritated when I got recalled for Korea, but eventually I decided not to fight it and enjoy it, which I did. And so for 32 years, I had a ball. Enjoyed every minute of it. I'm not sure my life was in danger too often, so I'm pretty well protected by those that I worked with. Managed to have quite a bit of time with my family. Good education and a year at the War College and various other training episodes. But I got to tell you, maybe this is jumping the gun, but I'm working for the ambassadors of Luxembourg and Belgium. And for some reason, the ambassador in Belgium did not like the colonel that was assigned to him as from the army. And so he ends up calling me anytime he wanted to go to one of the military bases or do anything. And so I get a call from his secretary one day and said, "Jack, the ambassador would like to have you for lunch." And I thought, he just had lunch with him last week. She said, "I know, but there's Dr. Brown's coming from Philadelphia, and he wants to talk to you." I said, "I don't know you, Kev." Brown. Never heard of him. She said, "Well, he'd like to talk to you." I said, "Okay, I'll be there." Well, anyways, it turned out one of the people who used to work for me ran for congressman in the state of Pennsylvania. And this Brown and his uncle had been a senator. And this Brown was a good friend of his uncle, was the superintendent of the Greater Philadelphia School District. And so this Murdoch kid had asked him to say hello to me, and that's how we got in the conversation. But during our conversation, he said, "I'm having problems. I need to get male teachers into the educational system because I have so many single mothers with children and no male image." He said, "Well, they just can't do it." I said, "Oh, it's easy." I said, "All you got to do is get these people who are retiring, sergeant, promise a college education if they take elementary education as their primary major, and guarantee them a job." Well, about 3 years later, I got a note from me, "Yeah, it'll work perfectly." Well, when I retired, I got home, I got thinking, I was offered a job with Lowell Electronics, but I had to be working in New Jersey. And the only reason I got out of the service is because all my kids were in Utah, so I wasn't about to work in New Jersey. And I thought, what's good for the goose, good for the gander. So I went back to school, got an elementary education, and taught elementary school for 13 years. Smartest thing I ever did in my life. Loving them. 5th grade, 4th grade, 6th grade. You fly through clouds, bright white clouds, in and out and around the sides, screaming. It's hard to explain. You're in ecstasy. I tell you, that don't put this in this, but I'm 106. And I think, this guy who wrote this poem was a Canadian called High Flight by John Gillespie McGee. You should read it sometime.
Will you read it for us?
Oh, I have slipped and surly bonds of earth, and danced the skies on laughter's silver wings. I can hardly see this. Sunward I'd climbed, joined a tumbling myth of sunsplit clouds and done 100 things. You have not dreamed of wheeled and soared and swung, high in the sunlight silence. Hovering there, I've chased the shouting wings along and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air, up, along delirious burning blue. I've topped the windswept heights with easy grace, where ne'er lark or even eagle flew. And while with silence lifting mind, I've trod the high and trespassed sanctity of space, put out my hand, touched the face of God. Did I explain it to you? Put out my hand and touched the face of God. Well, we live in the only country on earth, in reality, that has the freedoms we have and the opportunities we have, and we should make every effort to take every advantage of those opportunities. Listen to the guidance of your church elders, the guidance of your parents, and live according to those values, and you'll never regret a moment of your life. Because the church we belong to provides us with all we need to live a happy and thankless life, regardless of what's happening in the political world or around you, academically or economically or any other way. You'll be a success if you follow those instructions. Couldn't say anything more to you if I lived to be 1,000.